What's going on, Metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson. I am your host. And this week, we have Claire with us from Breaker. And you said you're... See, I've already forgot. So we'll just... Yeah, I'll send the links. Claire, how the fuck are things going for you?
Things are going good. You know, a lot has happened this year. A lot of peaks and valleys. And now, you know, the last couple weeks we've got of 2025, I'm kind of just chilling out and reflecting and trying to figure out my plan for next year, as I'm sure everybody else is, you know.
Definitely. You know, that's the kind of the thing for me too. Like, this year has been... It's been a lot of ups and downs, you know, a lot of good albums, a lot of, you know, wow, I don't know if I want to listen to that again kind of albums. But it's all cool because it's all subjective, right? But like, you know, just in everyday life with like the day job stuff and whatnot, because we, you know, nobody's getting rich at doing this, I don't think. But even with like the day job stuff, it's like ups and downs. You just got to deal with it. And now that, you know, over the last couple of weeks, I've kind of done the same thing. Kind of tried to unplug for the last part of the year just to see what's going to happen for 26 with a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah, like when, because thinking about where I was last year, I'm in such a better spot, you know, like with the band and everything, like we've gotten to accomplish a lot of things. But then there's things that like we thought we would have accomplished that we haven't, and it's like that's like it's accepting like, you know, the good things and not focusing on the bad things, and that's really tough. But you know, I'm trying to get more optimistic.
Definitely, and you know, I think having a good grasp on something like that is key and ideal. Because, like, you know, not everything's going to happen, like, all at one time, you know? It's not all going to happen snap, snap, snap. Sometimes it takes time. One of the people that I recently spoke with as well, it's like, man, I know our stuff's good enough, but why hasn't somebody picked it up yet? And it's like, well, I mean, maybe... You know, maybe you're just not shopping it to the right people, or, you know, it's any number of variables. So not necessarily, I would say it would necessarily be a bad thing, but you never know. I mean, it's just like, sometimes you might be too far ahead of the curve, you know, or way far behind it. Who knows? So definitely get what you're saying there. So tell everybody out in Metal Forge land about Breaker.
Okay, so Breaker, we're a traditional heavy metal band with some glam swagger. We're from Philadelphia.
Which means they'll kick your ass.
That's right. Go Birds. But we started in 2013. 2023, I replied to I was in a weird place where, like, I finally wanted to take a chance and join a band. So I went on Craigslist, found Ben and Steve.
Wow, on Craigslist in 2023?
Well, my dad used to go on Craigslist to like buy, you know, concert tickets, find odd jobs and stuff. So I was already kind of aware of what that was. So I was like, oh, people find bands through this. And I was kind of like, you know, I was just shopping around. But I saw the set list that they had, like what direction they wanted to go through. And it was like Kiss, Wasp, Ozzy. And I was like, holy crap, it's like I wrote this list. And so our original guitarist, Tegan, we were hanging out at a bar one night, and I was like, I think I want to audition for this. Would you mind coming with me? And we jammed, and like it was really awesome because you never know what you're going to get into with that type of thing. Obviously, Craigslist is very risky, but it worked out. And you know, we were playing as cover band for a little bit, and then started working on our original songs, which was, you know, a big learning curve for me because I'd never recorded anything before. It was a chance for me to like help out with lyrics, and like I learned a lot. So that was our EP. We put that out in 2024. We made CDs for it. It was all DIY. Like we mixed it ourselves. We kind of just, you know, Frankensteined it together really. And from there, we were just playing shows. I've been doing the social media, so I helped, book the gigs and everything. And this year, Heaven and Hell Records picked up our EP and actually remastered it because we didn't have it mastered. Like if you bought the original CD, it wasn't super loud, and
Sure.
so getting that deal with Heaven and Hell, they were able to like kind of boost the sound. They've been very helpful in like getting it out to places and expanding us, with the CDs. I know they're streaming, but
Yeah,
streaming.
physical still king.
Yeah.
Physical media will always be a thing. And, I am very adamant as a musician myself that we always have stock something physical, not shirts, nothing like that, but actual albums or EPs or whatever, whatever we're working on, and hopefully most of the back catalog too, because you never know when somebody's going to come to your merch table. And if you've got 4 albums worth of material, I've had numerous people through the years pick up everything at one go. And so, yeah, physical media is always going to be ideal. And so, yeah, kudos to still putting that out, to, even with, having a remaster and everything and just being able to do it.
Mm-hmm. So then like that, we got more exposure that way, which was awesome. Because like, this year we got to play with Savage Master. We got to play with Tower. We got to,
Mm-hmm.
we got to play with Graham Bonnet. We got to go out to Blades of Steel in Wisconsin. Like we got all of these awesome shows. We originally were going to record our album this year, but that's just how things shake out.
Well,
So
yeah.
the next couple months will be, focused solely on recording and getting more music out there. Because you can kind of get caught up,
Oh,
with
sure.
all the dates and also having, day jobs and all
Now
that.
that's so before we started, I was talking about recording bass tracks, and that's kind of our situation. We've just had a lot of shows and a lot of things happen, and it's kind of just pushes it off the schedule. And it's just like there's enough time, but there's not enough of the right time. Meaning like if you live any kind of distance away from your members, it's like, okay, well then you got to factor drive time. And then by the time you get there, you've only got a couple of hours rather than more. And it's just like, so everything's a crunch, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. I wish we could all be like Aerosmith and just live together and make music all day and get
Oh,
everything done, but it's 2025.
There's a reason some couples live separately.
Mm-hmm.
So I think bands are the same way. There's a reason some of us live separately. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, I totally kid at that because either of my 2 bands, I would love to, have that moment with, to be able to just sit there and get up and just do it and just say, all right, we're going to practice from, you know, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then we're gonna go to the show and then we're gonna come back and party and then practice, again the
All
next day.
fully paid for.
Oh
Like,
yeah, hopefully getting paid for it. Yeah, because you talk about like bands that did that, like Metallica and Anthrax and stuff, when they were picked up by Megaforce and just up there in like New Jersey, staying in fucking the slums. um so you did mention a minute ago our original guitarist Tegan.
mhm.
So tell us about that. Obviously that's probably had a big play in recording the album as well.
Absolutely. And it was all a learning curve. Yeah, don't date your bandmates. Claire Marie 2025, it does the bands are a mix of personalities, and when we broke up and we tried to keep it going, but it just wasn't healthy for either of us. Tegan's an incredible, amazing musician who can make it, doing his own thing, and he's actually in a new band now, and they kick ass, and it was amicable, and
Okay.
there's that.
Well, that's
And
good at
then
least.
we had a fill-in for a while. He recently left, so we are on the hunt for a lead guitar player. I think for recording, Ben's gonna, double time with the guitars, like he'll be tracking everything. But ideally, we are looking for, full-time lead guitarist. It's just you never know what's gonna happen. Things.
Absolutely. And you're in a major metroplex. So the chances of finding somebody are exponentially greater than, somebody living in Oklahoma,
Mhm.
And the cool thing too is with you all being up in Philly, I mean, you all can actually pull from the tri-state area and finding somebody in New York or New Jersey that could make the commute or vice versa or whatever. And that's totally cool too, because there's no shortage of guitar players, it
Yeah.
seems.
Yeah, so we're hoping, get through the holidays. Probably in January, we'll start like our serious search for somebody because, there's so much talent, but it's also like you run into the issue of like, oh, this person's super good, but they're in like 5 other bands. How can they?
Right.
It's the prioritizing and stuff. The worst was when we were trying to find a drummer. We got really lucky with Larry. We got a new drummer this year too because Ben
Oh,
was
wow.
original drums, but Ben wanted to switch to guitar.
Sure.
So, yeah.
And I mean, that's not the first time I've ever heard that with drummers doing that. Actually, the cool side note here, Adam Neal was originally a drummer.
Wow. I think I knew.
And he went to guitar and now he's a bass player. So, but he's done everything in bands. So, it's definitely interesting. Yeah, you're right that drummers do seem like they're a lot harder to find, and lucking out and getting a really good one is pretty good. You take that chance and you're like, what? Or you're like, holy shit, this person is really fucking good.
Yeah,
Which
and I
I'm
think in Ben's case, it's just like he's always been a drummer, and now he's like, look, if this is gonna be like my new project, like I want to be on guitar finally, and it's like, yeah, and he's great at guitar, so
and that's awesome too. So um back a second ago, we were talking about the EP, and I did want to bring this up because being a Kiss fan, I've noticed your mug, your coffee mug here.
chocolate.
It is it's hot chocolate, even better. Um, I completely dig the EP cover because it harkens two memories to me. Um, music from the Elder because of the hands, like on the knock on the door knocker kind of thing, or on the chest or whatever it is, and like Heavy Metal Maniac,
Mm-hmm.
where slicing the cabinet. It kind of gives me that vibe, and it's totally rad. Like, so I dig when bands like have really good artwork that really matches the music that's there.
Yeah,
And that one totally does.
yeah, we took it on a Tegan's like a old film nerd, so he had like the old camera. We took a
Sure.
bunch of pictures. We got it like developed. Like it was so cool. We really committed to like making it, completely doing it ourselves, and it turned
So are
out
those
better.
your hands?
That's my hand.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's even better because that means, the lore is what it's about. Like, I don't know. We are always seeing like the stories of like album covers and artwork and things like, did you catch this? Did you realize this? Did you, and that stuff is what's awesome as hell to me, is like, it's like building the universe of Breaker,
Yeah.
and that's totally cool. It's like Ozzy being on the cover of Volume 4 in the silhouette where he's got his arms up and stuff, and I think that stuff's really cool.
Thank you.
But then, you all go to the Stick to Your Guns cover,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
which totally reminds. I'm a nerd, okay, and I'm a wrestling nerd at that.
Okay.
And it totally reminds me because y'all are on like with the Jeep, and with the howitzer, it's what it is, and it's just like I totally dig it because it reminds me of like the time that DX invaded the CNN center in WWF at the time, and invaded WCW, and they're all fucking wandering around with a fucking Jeep and a howitzer on it, and it's like, what the fuck? But
That's
yeah,
amazing.
shout out to Matt McCourt and Wild Dogs, because that's a Wild Dogs cover of.
Mhm.
Am I right with that?
Yeah, Ben
That's what.
brought it up, and we were like, oh, this like lyrically and like thematically and like everything about it, we're like, oh, this could be a Breaker song. So Ben reached out to him on like Facebook or something,
Oh
and
yeah, he's readily available.
yeah, oh, he was thrilled.
Hell yeah, that's great. I actually, he came across my YouTube feed here a while back, like a few days ago. Like it's been a little bit longer, like a week ago, where it was usmetal.com, and they were doing interviews, and it was 2000, and they had an interview with Lemmy on there on
Mhm.
the US Metal channel from 2000. I was like, wow, this is like totally cool shit. Like, and they're just backstage at a show, just bullshitting with each other, and just like, oh yeah, this is what it did. This is, hey, what are you doing after this? It's like, oh, just like a normal conversation, which is totally cool.
You're also an interview nerd. I try to find all the interviews of all my favorite
Oh
singers.
yeah. Well, I mean, I when it comes to people like Lemmy and like people from Motorhead, yeah, I'm such a fan. It's just like I may not have a lot of memorabilia, but like I do like to know and get behind like get behind the scenes with a little bit. I like studio books,
Mhm.
where you get like the idea of how things were recorded for this such and such person. I really think that's it's like a textbook for a musician in a way, to
Mm.
me.
Yeah, it's the same thing with like this year actually Joe Gamel, who you
Yeah.
interviewed a long time. Oh, I guess like a year ago now. I miss her. I haven't
uh
seen her in a while. But she got me like I was going through a rough time and I was hanging out with her. She's also from Philly. And she was like,
sure.
you need to start reading female rock star biographies. So this year I've read Patti Smith, Heart, and I just finished a Stevie Nicks one. And yeah, it's like a similar thing. Like you kind of learn different things about what you want for your future, what you don't want. I mean, industry wise, I thought it was really fascinating.
Oh, absolutely it is. And I do the same thing, the White Line Fever, the Lemmy autobiography. Rob Halford's two books are great.
That's on my bucket list.
Iron Man from Tony Iommi is amazing, and just there's so many good ones out there that are worth their weight in gold to find out, just how somebody else approaches the industry, and just even the world for that matter, just because everybody's experience is different,
Mm.
and that's what really makes it cool. But no, I've actually wanted to. I've heard really good things about Patti Smith's book. I want to check it out. But yeah, I haven't yet.
Got to get on it. It's really cool. Like a
And
lot of the stuff in there, it's like a lot of this stuff can only happen in the 70s. What do you mean you just got off a train with nothing and wandered
oh
around
right,
and found your way?
right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, some of those like I left home at 17, and I got on a bus to California, and it's just like, what the fuck? It's like, hey, if you can do it, do it. That's not for everybody though. And
Mhm.
everybody, and some of those especially what is it, Laurel Canyon groups, like like Tom Petty became one, Fleetwood Mac was another one, and just those bands out in like the canyon out in California, just some of the things that all of those people had done were just insane, like for the time. And like how what it's like what was so different in their lives versus now, other than inflation and shit like that. And
Right. It's also
it's
a
like,
mindset, I find. Like Mick Fleetwood, at least like from reading the Stevie Nicks biography, like that dude just had a vision. He went into insane debt, and he would like, it was almost delusional. Like he's like, when everything around him is crumbling, he's like, we still have to put out an album. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. And I
oh
admire
yeah.
that in people, and I try to adapt that with reason, you know?
Oh, for sure. And not only that, but like spending like large amounts of money doing it at like Studio City and stuff like that, that it's not a cheap place to record, but yet you're in debt up to your ears. And honestly, you brought up Mick Fleetwood, which turned about him being like having this insane vision, and Peter Green with Fleetwood Mac, was a completely different thing as well. That just that he actually did go crazy over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he actually quit playing music, and it's just kind of like the same thing with like Sid Barrett. Even he had the vision, but then he just kind of lost it, and there he was. And that's a sad and unfortunate thing, like in this industry of playing music and artistry, that like the art is, at some level, the art is so much of a small aspect of what's actually going on, compared to like when you're in a band that's making $1 million decisions.
Yeah, I
It
can't.
kind of is, it's kind of a daunting thing, especially when you're in your 20s and 30s and stuff. It's I couldn't fathom doing some of the stuff, like I always bring up the European Justice Tour for Metallica, where they had to make $76,000 a show to break even. And it's just like, son of a bitch, that's a lot of fucking money. That's more than what most people make in a year, or more than what a lot of people make in a year anyways.
Yeah, I had to get off TikTok for a little bit because I started getting these videos that were like, money's not real, just keep spending and all this. Like, but honestly, with how the economy is and everything right now, I don't blame anybody for just like not caring anymore, because like you can't even fathom that amount of money.
Oh, sure. No, you're absolutely right with that.
Feels like the
Money,
Wild West.
my guitar player, Todd, he always would go through this stuff of being like, it's not fucking real. Money's just made up. It's like, of course it is. But, it's like,
But if you lose your house, you lose your house. Like you just have to,
exactly.
like there are some.
There's something there with it for sure. But anyway, we're getting off on a tangent here, which is what we do on the show. If you don't know, if this is your first episode or anything like that, we tend to go way out in the fucking weeds sometimes. So 2026. Obviously, you all had the festival appearance at Blades of Steel this year. Shout out Randy. I think he's made the announcement that this year's will be the last Blades. It's on Louder Than Life weekend. And Maiden's playing that weekend in like Milwaukee or some shit. So it's kind of rough. It's for the time period. So what do you all have planned other than the album work for 26?
Well, we have one that has been announced so far. They're doing the first ever New York Glam Metal Fest. That's going to be in June. It's put together by Bo Brent from Ferret. And you know that meme page, Everything Glam Metal?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, they have all the funny like 80s metal memes. They put it together. It's going to be Heaven's Edge and Ted Pooley, Wanted, a bunch of really cool bands. Some of them I know, some of them I haven't seen before, but that's going to be a really cool event. We're looking forward to that. We just got booked for another festival. Maybe when is this coming out? This episode,
the day after Christmas.
Oh, okay. We're gonna be playing Legions of Metal in Chicago, which is really exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
Ice How played that back in 24. It's fun. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I always get FOMO look at like the past 2 years watching everybody have fun at it. So I'm excited to get out there. And there's a lot of really cool bands, even as they're announced right now, I'm really excited about. So that'll be a good time.
Sure.
Never been to
Um,
Chicago before. So
oh wow. Hell yeah.
much.
And shout out to Bob, friend of the Metal Forge. I keep wanting to have him on, but he's like, I don't know what I would talk about. It's like, talk about the fest,
Rivalry
dude.
with Randy.
Yes, exactly. Somebody made yes, the rivalry with Randy. Somebody made a Legions of Metal card for this year with that one of the bands announced was Randy and the Castners. And Bob's was something else. And it was just like they made them in like metal logos and shit like that. It was totally good stuff. And
That would be such
the,
an epic episode. I feel like you have to get them both on at
oh,
the
that
same
would be
time.
great.
Yeah.
But Randy's kind of a quiet person, I've noticed. Like at a show, he'll like come up and be like blah blah blah, tell you what he needs to tell you, and then he's just like on his way.
Yeah.
Which, as a promoter myself, I really respect that because he knows what he's doing and he's like, all right, this is what I need. This is what you need to do. Can you do this and make this happen?
Mhm.
Sure. Okay, thanks. See you.
Takes care of the bands so well. Like it was so awesome. Like he had like, waters for us, food, everything backstage. Like that was such a great festival and it ran so smooth. It was a great
That
time.
yeah, and honestly, playing festivals where things are backlined is totally rad. And if you can get away, excuse me, if you can get away with it, and like, yeah, that's where it's at. So, are you all planning a run around that period as well?
So we it's so tough like with my band right now because like I'm in my 20s. The other guys in my band, they have wives, they have kids, they have things going on. So the idea, and also like with recording and all the stuff that comes with that, like trying to put out an album and everything, planning a tour kind of
Mhm.
feels like it might be putting too much on our plate right now. And
Sure.
for the sake of my ADHD, or like I just want to go, go, go and do everything at once, I got to learn to take it back a little bit. So I think we actually booked the plane tickets. We got an Airbnb
Nice.
already figured out because Ben was like, let's just solidify this now. And I was like, cool. But hopefully maybe around the summer we'll plan a run or something. We're just going to take it easy a little bit, one thing at a time.
Sure. No, that's absolutely right because you do have to because you've got to, especially when in untested markets, and that's really where it's at. You've got to, if you've never played Chicago and then this is the first deal, then like I said, it's an awesome fest to play, as is Randy's, and you'll notice a spike, seriously. And that's what the cool thing about it is just getting out there, doing the thing, and just you'll make some Breaker fans. Absolutely.
And meet a lot
Chicago
of
kicks ass when it comes to that.
like
What's that?
I love meeting people that I always make the joke we go to Facebook together, like seeing people
Oh
from
yeah.
the scene in real life. It's like it was kind of like my favorite people I met when we were in Wisconsin was meeting the Antagonizer crew. They're so awesome. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was like, oh, cool. I can like meet my online friends.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, that's where I met Joe Gamble, was at Legions of Metal. And we had been friends on, I think we followed each other on Instagram. And I noticed that she had just started doing her Rock Goddess podcast. And I was like, hey, we follow each other on Instagram. I'm the metal for, and she's like, oh my gosh, that is you. And it's just like,
So
and a couple of years later, I've had her on a couple times. She was actually back on in this past April
yeah.
for DMR Books as well, because she had written a short story that was in one of their books.
She's a Renaissance woman. She can do everything.
She
It's so
is.
awesome.
She's a musician. She's a painter, visual artist. Is a writer. Does so much stuff, and yeah, totally cool. I haven't talked to her for a while. I know she's been going to school and everything too. So yeah, that takes a lot, especially secondary education stuff.
It's so cool. She's
Uh,
amazing. She's done so much for the scene too. Like I the way that Joe Gamel's Rock Goddesses like influenced me, even like with and like she was just doing it for like a year. Indescribable. Like it's just so cool to have this like pocket of other girls to talk to
mhm.
about the unique things that we go through in the scene and whatnot, and even like finding gigs, finding people to play with. Like she really created that network. It was very educational too.
Yeah, very much. And to have the amount of work that she had done, she did over 100 episodes in a year. And that's totally cool, to and like putting them out every couple of days, and that's really cool. And yes, she has very much helped the metal scene for women, because that's one of the things that I absolutely despise still is hearing that term female fronted, and I hate that. It's not a genre. You're a fucking metal band. You just happen to have a woman vocalist. That's it,
I
and that's
saw a
all.
post today that said like the female fronted scene, and I was like, oh, we're a scene now.
Oh my
Just
god.
female
That is
fronted.
so fucking ridiculous. Like,
They mean well, but it's like, ugh.
yeah, it comes off as really cringe. It really does. And yeah, just because, I don't get that personally. Because like I said, it's not like it's a thing where it's like you're getting gigs because of that or in spite of that. It you're getting gigs because of your ability, not, you know, or for your professionalism, or people's lack of professionalism, why they don't get gigs or whatever. It's not because of, you know, having a woman vocalist. And I don't know. That's just, I've been wanting to do this thing for a while where we have like a round table of women vocalists, and just all of them talking about their respective places in the scene and how that term has like kind of pigeonholed bands into like, just whatever. And it's not right.
I think that's an excellent idea, like a female fronted summit or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's so much to say about it, and
There really is. And to
but
talk
it's
about,
getting better. I feel like when I first started, and it was mostly in the cover band scene because you're playing for mostly like older people who like just cannot fathom a girl's like they just see it as a gimmick no matter what.
mhm.
So actually getting out of playing like cover band shows and stuff, and it also helps. Like I love playing shows with bands that have girls in them, just so it's less uncomfortable. But
Sure. No, I totally get that. And you know, if they ever want to see it, have them watch Tower. She wails like crazy
oh
through
yeah,
everything. It's just so good though.
so badass.
So hell yeah, couple of fests. What else? Anything else going on later in the year that you know of, or is that where y'all are trying to get things done in the first quarter so you can put out an album by the last quarter, kind of thing?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking have the in a perfect world, we will have, two singles out, early this year. One
Sure.
of them's going to be another deeper cut cover, which is going to be cool. Which I love that doing that because like there's just like so many great songs that like you can pull back out and like do a different interpretation of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be releasing another cover, another original song, hopefully album by spring. And then from there, we'll see what happens, just one step at a time. I don't want to get too much on my plate.
Yeah, for sure. Especially around the holidays, because, then it's like, not only do you feel the stress of like all the holiday stuff, but then you're like, I get this done. What am I going to do? And that's no fun at all when you're fretting over it, because, everybody knows that there's the goals and the deadlines, but like actually thinking about it is the daunting part.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get you. We've got a deadline of January 15th, and it's like, holy crap. Well, it's a month away now. It's less than a month away. So what are we going to do? It's like, well, we got to get it done. It's like, make it happen how you can. So hell yeah. 2026 sounds like some really awesome times. Hell yeah. So derailed. Everybody kind of knows what it is. It's the general profile questions about Claire as a person, and yeah. So my first question is have you ever won anything? If so, what is it?
Have I ever won anything?
Yeah, like first prize in whatever.
That's great. Yes, actually. In college, I went to college for theater. I
Oh,
did,
cool.
yeah, I did musical theater all grown up just because, it was like the outlet for performance. I always wanted to be Freddie Mercury, and I got to kind of feel like Freddie Mercury doing that. Um, but I got really I took a playwriting course, and my family's from the north of Ireland. Like, I'm first generation American, and
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a play that like was based on some elements of my dad's upbringing as I knew it.
Wow.
And it stood out. And every year at my college, they would do this. We would go to the Kennedy Center College Theater Festival. And like it was, there were acting competitions, there were playwriting competitions. And I submitted my script, and I won for the region, which was really cool. And didn't end up, it went into like another competition to like the national competition, but I didn't end up getting into the national competition. But it was an
Still
honor
though,
to make the regional.
hell yeah. Still though, that's awesome because being a second generation Irish, that's totally rad. My dad's dad, my grandpa, was born there, came here as he was an infant, and my dad was his only son, and or his actually his only child, and yeah. So I totally get that, and that's really, really damn cool. To talk about the heritage that way and to write a play. That's one of the things I've always wanted to do more of is get into theater personally, even if it's just like, local theater here.
Yeah, no, it's super fun. I kind of, because that was always like my thing I wanted to do professionally, just because like really what I always wanted to do was be in a band and like, be involved in music in some sort. But self-confidence, self-doubt, yada yada yada. I stayed in theater to stay in my lane. But that's not necessarily to say I don't still love it. Like I still love writing. I still love going to see shows. If there's a really good musical in the area that I could audition for, like Cabaret or something, I would
Ooh,
totally do that. But I don't know. I think the rejections and stuff like that. It's a really hard industry,
it is.
It's not for the weak.
No, that definitely not. But what is really? I
No,
mean,
that's
especially in 2025,
mhm.
you know. But the cool thing is how has that transpired or not transpired, but how has that married itself in with Breaker though? Because I'm sure, there's some bit of it with being, with stage work and stuff like that, that you can apply that to the band as well.
Yeah, for sure. Because like my vocal style is like very theatrical. That's like because I've been doing it for so long. But so is Bruce Dickinson's. Like I grew up loving like Iron Maiden and all that stuff. So I knew if I were to do music, it would have to be heavy metal because it transfers perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And then being on stage, it gives me kind of a leg up. Like I know like the basics of being on stage, looking at people, trying to get people's attention, little acting skills I learned in my class to like, because you really want to like manipulate the audience to feel something. And like, if I see
Sure.
somebody on their phone, I'm going to figure out 5 different ways to get them off their phone. Like
Go
that
punch them in the no. Go
without
punch
punching.
them in the face. No. Slap it out of their fucking hand. No.
Yeah.
I say that, but but
Like,
then you've got the documentarians that are like
oh yeah.
filming the show, which is cool because then you get to see it from the crowd perspective. But then you're like, I really wish you weren't on your phone and just watching.
Right. Yeah, and like I say that the theater industry was like pretty tough, but like really it's like if you're super duper passionate about it, it's not going to feel super tough. Like
Right.
it's going to be tough, but it's not going to feel as tough. Like I was saying, like with getting into like doing booking shows and like being in a band and stuff, it came easier to me because that's what I've always wanted to do. And I already had like all of these ideas, because all it was like a dream to me that I didn't think that I could do. And then I just started doing it and I was like, oh, okay. So I think with theater, I just kind of got a little bit burnt out and lost the passion. I just pivoted over to, something different.
No, that's totally respectable and understandable. I mean, I do some painting on the side of like, just like kind of like Bob Ross style stuff, landscapes and stuff. But a couple of years ago, I just I just kind of quit doing it. And it's like I can't explain why, but I don't know if it was necessarily burnout, but I think it was the right time to set it down. And you never know when the time will be to pick it back up again, if ever. I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, some people can do that and say like keep going to shows and not play shows. But then again, there's also people out there that once they stop doing something, they can't do it. They can't go even watch it, and I found that out about a lot of things, my dad was that way. He used to dirt track race. And once it got too expensive to go to take a family of 5 and he quit going, he never wanted to go watch either.
Oh.
So it kind of sucks that way sometimes. Is having a big ego a negative trait or a positive one?
Yeah, that's wow. So I've actually been thinking about that with like my journaling and everything. Well, what I'm dealing with is my instant reaction is saying that ego is a bad thing. I don't like egos. But not really. It means you have like a high sense of self and you know what you want. And if you don't like something about somebody's big ego, I think that it kind of says something. You have to look a little bit deeper. It's like, what is it that I don't like about that person?
Sure.
Could it possibly be something about myself that like they possess that I don't, or, that's like a
Good
real
point.
philosophical thing to think about.
Mm-hmm.
I think big ego can either be positive or negative, depending on the situation, maybe.
Sure.
What do you think?
Well, honestly, I just today actually I saw a post from Ingve where he was bitching about former singers playing the songs live, and that they had no rights to play any of the songs that they sang on live because they didn't write anything other than, quote, a few lines here and there type thing.
But they contributed to it. It's their voice.
Exactly. People, it's like, yeah, it's like, I get that too.
When it's affecting other people, like when it's putting other people down, I can never put up with that.
Exactly. So I always think of, is it ego or is it persona?
Yeah.
Or is it's like a character at that point if it's a persona, because then, I can kind of get behind it if it's an on stage thing. But once it floods into like a backstage moment where you're like during setup and tear down stuff, then I kind of might have a problem with it personally.
Yeah.
Because then I'm just kind of like, why are you being this way now? It's like, so is it a character flaw? Yeah, it probably can be. Have I been told I've had an ego? Sometimes I have, but
Really?
I try not to, because I know that we're all human and we all just are trying to make our way through whatever the fuck's going on.
Mm-hmm. But it can be easy to be kind. There's common decency too,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing about it is like, being cool with each other. If you have a problem, address it with somebody. If you feel like somebody has a problem with you, ask them, because that's what it's about. It's like we all come from different walks of life, even in the same families, it seems like. You know like, just because everybody has a different experience, and nobody knows what it's like to do whatever. Nobody knows what it's like to be somebody else.
I've really been taking the serenity prayer, right? Like, grant me the acceptance of things I cannot change and the wisdom to change things that I can. You can't change how people are going to act. All you can change is how you respond to them. So if I had to deal with Ingve, if I was, let's say I was backstage and he starts yelling at me about something, he's being an asshole. I don't have to be an asshole back to him.
No.
So,
but too, the like, if he's yeah, for sure. If he's yelling at you, and then you got to understand, it's like, well, he is signing the checks, but that's still not an excuse. I mean, I wouldn't take that from my day job boss, so he definitely wouldn't be taking it from Ingve either.
Yeah, gotta have your own code and discipline and like boundaries. Yeah. That's what I'm working on. Boundaries. How absolutely. I let people talk to me.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's important.
It very much is. What's a Philly hidden gem that you wouldn't think anybody would know about that you could share?
Ooh, a Philly hidden gem. Give me a moment. There's a lot of suddenly, it's like when I get questions like this, it's like suddenly I haven't lived here all my life.
Oh, wow.
I would say Assad's hot chicken. It's not necessarily a hidden gem anymore because they're kind of popping up all over the city. Okay. But back when I was in high school, it started as this like really small chicken place outside of a gas station, like in a trailer. And it's like for like
you're speaking my language.
Oh yeah, $10. You get a big thing of like fried chicken, and they give you like a ton of fries. Like, it was just like so much bang for your buck, and the sauce was awesome. I can't even describe it. But like, if you want cheap hot chicken and like a ton of it, Assad's is awesome.
Yeah.
There's I grew up going to a lot of like different like Irish places growing up, just by virtue of being Irish. But sure. Northeast Philly in general, like a lot of people, so Philly is huge. Yeah. There's the whole sector Northeast Philly, which is more residential, and a lot of people think of it like, oh, that's like not really Philly, that's like the suburbs, but there's still a lot of really cool stuff up there, little hidden gems, bars, stuff like that.
Right on. Hell yeah. And that's totally cool though, that you did pick a place that was just like perfect fried chicken. It's like, that's great, because hey, I'm a fan of it, and I'm considered the South, but we're more Midwest. So fried chicken's a thing here, and I'm not talking like KFC either, because I'm, from around the Louisville area. No, that's nothing compared to like real fucking good chicken.
Right. Out of a little trailer outside of a gas station. It's the best fried chicken.
That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. And talking about the Legions thing, the catering is awesome too. Ooh, just so you know.
That's exciting.
So, yeah, that one's a really good one. If you could have any movie character as your best friend, who would it be?
Oh, I like that. My best friend in a movie character.
And yes, it can be an animated character too.
Can be an animated character from a movie. Let me think. Damn, I feel so on the spot with these questions. There's so many answers.
Hey, that's how it is.
Movie character. I think I would be good friends with. Have you seen Detroit Rock City?
Of course.
This movie. I would love to be friends with Trip. He just
Okay.
seems like, just one of those friends that would just be telling you jokes all day. Their life itself is just entertaining. You're never bored. Like,
Well,
I
hang
don't know why
on.
my mind went to that movie. I think I watched it pretty recently, and that's one of my favorite films.
Well, it's funny because we were at practice a couple of weeks ago before the thrashing through the snow tour or whatever, and the line got brought up about horror movies starting this way, and I just
Those
immediately
are
turned to
pornos that start out that way,
there's
man.
porno movies that start out this way too, and it was like, and it's like the laughing moment. Um, my, oh, like I love that movie, and it came out when I was like 14, so it was perfect. Like you watch Dazed and Confused
Mm-hmm.
and Detroit Rock City, and it's just like they flow together so well. But honestly, I have two favorite scenes from that film. One of which is when they're in the chop shop and he's trying to rescue Natasha Lyonne, and he pulls the door up and the garage door, and a whole lot of Rosie starts.
The soundtrack.
And that's my favorite AC/DC song is Whole Lot of Rosie.
Same.
No, that's awesome. Hell yeah. And the other favorite scene in that is when Trip is trying to take the fucking the tickets from the kid at the pinball machine, and he's like, they're in my he's like, hey Chongo, and then fucking Chongo walks up and he's fucking putting his fist in his hand and Godzilla starts. And it's like those two scenes alone are so fucking good with the music.
Kiss
And
tickets for your life. Oh, whenever they're beating up the disco kids with Iron Man playing, I always thought that was so bad.
that's great. Yes. When I always get the two actors confused, like Sam something. But I always get him and Paul Dano confused with each other because they look similar to me.
Yeah, I can see it.
So I have one more question, but before we get to it, as always, links are listed below. So please give likes, shares, follows, do all the things and all the stuff. Go buy merch, go see them on the road when they're out at like Chicago at Legions of Metal or up in the New York Glam Fest, you said? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Go buy merch, do the things, all the stuff, say hi, even if you don't buy merch, maybe duke a couple bucks in the tip jar at the merch table, because everything counts and everything helps. And it's bands like Breaker and younger bands getting out, doing things, making music that is rivalry to all of the shit that you hear on the radio, even on the commercial metal side of things. I'm looking at you, Testament and Metallica and Slayer and shit. Take these younger bands out on the fucking road. Do your fucking part, because that happened with you. Bam. That's my 2 cents on the subject. Claire, thank you so fucking much for coming to the Metal Forge. Do you have any shout outs or anything else you'd like to promote today?
Well, my band said just mention that we're looking for a guitar player. Hey, we're looking for a guitar player if you're in the Philadelphia area or adjacent. But shout out to my bandmates. Thank you so much for having me. This was super fun.
Of course, it's been a long time coming, and I'm just glad that we actually got it to happen. Especially for the holiday season and stuff. And I always like to sit there and for the last few years, I've seriously thought that, like, it's the day after Christmas episode or whatever, or the day like New Year's Eve episode or whatever. It's like those are those throwaway episodes? And fuck no, there's no such thing as a throwaway episode.
That's right.
So tune in every week. We're always here. Again, thank you so much, Claire. My final question of the day: how do you think our lives would be different if there weren't satellites and shit above our heads right now?
What do you
Like,
mean?
like satellites, like, cell phones and shit are covered, satellite stuff, and you know, just like some of the spy technology and shit like that. How do you think our lives would be different without us sending stuff into space, I guess?
Hmm. Well, truthfully, you don't think about these things until questions like this get answered. So then it's like,
Exactly.
would much be different? I don't know, because we wouldn't be thinking
I
about
don't
it.
know. Would there be, that's the thing, because it's always been a factor of both our lives at this point.
Mhm.
I'm in my early 40s, and obviously we went to space before I was born. So, or some people think we didn't, but I think we have.
I think so.
At least to the moon, anyways. They say we never went to the moon. I don't know. I think so.
Yeah, I think there's just way too much information and miss it. Like, the human mind was not meant to consume this much at all times. That you forget, like, the way that debating if we went to space is like, aren't there more important things to debate?
Yes, there actually are.
Yeah.
And, I'm always one of like, I definitely believe something else is out there.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely, there's no way, we're like 1 in 100 million kind of shot or whatever. And I mean, yeah, I think there's something else that's definitely out there. Do I think we've been visited? Absolutely. I mean, because hey, some of these people have to be fucking aliens.
Oh yeah, right. Like, why do you act like that?
Mostly the ilk of the politicians are, I think, are the aliens, but then that would mean that they're in control already. So
Oh man. Yeah, we're
such
just a tiny speck in a giant universe. We only get one
absolutely,
shot at this life. We should just have fun.
absolutely. And just do your thing, have fun. You never know when that's going to be your last minute or whatever. So live it to its fullest.
That's right. That's a
Fuck
great note
yeah.
to end on. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. On our way out today, from Breaker, what are we going to play?
Let's do Tight Leash.
I actually just listened to that before we started, and it's such a fucking good song. I was hoping you would pick that.
Yes.
Tight leash.
All right.
Who's your true master with the power to tip the scales? In the wings, pulling strings, never showing his face.
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza Donisi. Pizza Donisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken, fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza Donisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza Donisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years and keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They're open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out. In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shade Beast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance.
featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shade Beast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shade Beast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soul Grinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Sit back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. to distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now. Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my